I'm a dad to 2 teenage girls. Now, for the past several years, when I say that out in public, I get mostly the same response. Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Oh, we'll definitely be keeping you in our prayers. And listen, I'm not saying it's been a cakewalk. We've had our challenges as a family, and well, I've made more than my share of mistakes parenting my girls. But I don't need anybody's sympathy because I absolutely love being a teenage girl dad. I love this stage of life where my wife and I get to watch these girls grow and learn and blossom into these strong, independent women. My oldest daughter just graduated and she turns 18 this month. My youngest is almost 15 and she starts high school in the fall. And I'll tell you, every single day, I learn something from them. My girls humble me and mostly they inspire me. I'm just so proud to be known as Abby and Ava's dad. So this Father's Day, I wanted to bring a challenge specifically for the dads of teenagers and the dads who are going to be there soon. Not because I'm some expert, far from it, just ask my girls. But there are a couple of key principles that I think you should keep in mind. I think they'll help you become the kind of dad your kids need you to be in their teen years and the kind of dad I believe your Heavenly Father wants you to be. First thing is this. Like Nathan said earlier, the parenting stage from birth to preteen, it's mostly about close involvement and control of their behavior and their environment. But there has to be a shift in the teen years away from control and towards influence. In fact, that's the key word for any parent of a teenager. It's all about influence. Because, and this may come as a shock to some of you, you cannot control a teenager. I mean, once your child hits puberty or middle school, and probably even before that, the days of control are over. Short of locking them in a dungeon somewhere, you cannot completely control their friendships, their media influences, their behaviors, or their emotional responses. And if you try, you're only going to wind up being frustrated, and, well, so will your teenager. And some of you know this because you've seen it, or you've lived through it. But here's what you can do. Instead of a controller, you can position yourself within their lives as an influencer. Someone that they know loves them, who's on their side, who supports them, and only wants the best for them. Someone that they want to make proud. Someone they can look to for guidance and advice whenever they need it. Someone they'll come to when they make a mistake because they know they won't be condemned or ridiculed for it, but will give them grace and will help them clean up the mess and help them put things back together again. Now the question is, how do you gain influence in your teenager's life? Well, here's the way that I think about it. Influence only comes through a relationship, and relationships are built on acceptance. Here's a simple way to visualize it. Acceptance leads to relationship, and relationship leads to influence. I mean, just think about it. We all just naturally gravitate towards acceptance. In other words, we hang around with the people who accept us the most. See, this is why you have the friends that you have. The people you call friends are the ones who accept you just as you are. They're the ones who it's just easiest to be around because, well, there's no stress to perform. There's no pressure put on you. And since it's easy to be with those people, you're with them more often, and they become your closest friends. This is why your teenager hangs around with the friends that they hang around with, because those friends are the place where they find acceptance, and it's just easy to be in those environments. So, here's my advice. Make your home a place of unconditional acceptance. Make it easy for your teen to be themselves around you. Release some of the pressure and the stress. And the more you do this, the more they will want to be around you, which then leads to a relationship based on comfort and trust. And that relationship leads to the magic word that we're shooting for, influence. Now, just a quick side note. I didn't say accept everything your teen does. I said accept who they are. And we have the perfect example of this to follow. It's what our Heavenly Father did for us. We have been fully accepted and loved by God regardless of what we've done. So, we offer that same acceptance to our teens for the sake of a relationship with them. So that's my first word to dads of teens. My second one is this. I think one of the most crucial experiences a teenager can have is to observe themselves accomplishing something all on their own. Nothing sets them up for a successful future more than having the confidence and the independence to go out into the world and make decisions for themselves. I see a lot of parents who want to do everything for their teens because they want to make the road smoother for them. They just don't want to see their kids fail. And I'm convinced that that approach, it's just misguided. In the long run, I think it hurts our kids more than it helps them. For example, when my girls hit middle school, we stopped filling out paperwork for them, like at school or when they would go to the doctor visits or whatever. Now, of course, we would sign them, but we would make them fill out the forms because, well, that's a skill that they're going to need as adults. At about 16, we gave my daughter all the money that we were going to give her for the entire month. And then she was responsible to pay for everything above family meals and utilities and things like that, because we wanted to give her the chance to work within a personal budget and to figure out how to do it all on her own. We try to stand back. We let our girls speak for themselves to their teachers and other adults in their lives to be able to solve problems instead of us stepping in and always saving the day. There's a lot more that I could list to you about how we do that, but you kind of get the idea. And I'm not saying every family has to do it my way. My point is this: we have to allow our teens to do things on their own, even if there's a chance that they'll fail. Now, of course, we should do for them the things that they can't do alone, but everything else is open for them to accomplish. Because as they see themselves accomplishing these adult tasks, they gain the skills they need for life and the confidence to get out there and to do more. And the cool part is, we as their parents, we get to stand on the sidelines. We get to cheer them on. Being a teen dad, it means you become your kid's biggest fan, their greatest, strongest supporter. But remember, it all flows out of what I said earlier, a relationship built on unconditional love and acceptance, which then leads to influence.